peace. Faith is found in what is not, that you may have all you are. You know, it is so important. I want you to understand. If nothing else, I want the choice to be presented to you. I want you to understand. I want you to see it. As long as you are living in another man's creation, then you are privy to it. You are submitted to it. You are limited by it. All of this world, all of which you believe, all that you are perceiving of the nature of reality to be, is something that was dictated to you. Your very conception of yourself and what it means to be human life, what the limits of human life are, what the capability of human life is, what the implication, what the consequence and the purpose of human life is. These things have been dictated to you. This is why I try and tell people, I try and help people understand. I try to shape my own being to be a revelation of this. That all is a story. All is a story. All of the world is a story. And what you believe, what you conceive of yourself, this world is what you will witness. So if you are living perpetually in another man's story, you will be limited to it. You can think of this in so many different ways, but just simply imagine for yourself, if you are only allowed to be the perception that others have of you, what this would do to you, the ways that this would limit you, the change that this would place upon you. This is not a justice. This is not a justice to you. This is not a justice to any other. And we have to be able to have presence and understanding for this, that we may take up the mantle, that we may take up the nature of our own being, to determine the truth, to shape this world in a truth of our own being, not to live in the creation of another man, but to embody what is unique of our own being, that God and nature empower of us. God has granted you such a thing as imagination, that you may determine of yourself what it means to be you and what this world is. There is no authority, there is no power outside of God and nature and what you determine of yourself to be in these things. Your entire basis and conception of reality, if you have not gone to great lengths to it, to know of yourself, then you are living another man's creation, another man's failure, another man's sin, another man's lack, another man's fear, another man's controlling device upon you. And as I will continue to speak, you must live in forgiveness. As forgiveness is an acceptance. And this acceptance creates an allowance to be. That these chains not be placed upon you or any other. And that you be free to witness and determine of yourself the truth of your being and nature that God is. And you see, even to believe that God is not is a revelation of being, of the power that God is within you, that you will be allowed to witness this. To facilitate upon your own being that God is not, is a power of God upon you in the nature of which you are. And this is why they say God is not to be mocked. Because when you make a mockery of God, you make a mockery of yourself. Whenever you diminish God, you diminish yourself. You remove an innate capability to determine the nature of your being to the highest empowerment and revelation of what is beautiful and unique and granted to you, a mercy and a forgiveness, an infinite and expanding witnessing, and an allowance to be, a love, an allowance to be, freedom and truth, an allowance to be. Whenever you mock God, you mock these things. Whenever you diminish God, whenever you attempt to, you diminish these things in your own being. And it is just the same. It is just the same. If I'm to take every word that is dictated to me from another man's truth to be my own, I have robbed of myself. I have diminished of myself this ability to witness and discern and come to this living relationship of truth that God is, uniquely in my own being. If I'm to take your stories as mine, then I'm to rob myself of what is unique, of what is fulfilling, and in truth, the blessing that I'm meant to be able to facilitate upon you and upon the world and upon the heavens and upon the nature of all things through my being in the nature of all things that I am and that you are. This requires an ability to be empty of your word, an ability to be empty of your word, that I may receive a witness and give of mine, that I may share the language of my being, that I have a song to sing. And this does not mean that I cannot witness yours. It means I do not submit myself to it, that I have a place in it, uniquely in the song of all things, that I have a place in it, that we are a chorus in truth, that we are a harmony. But if I'm just singing your song, then how will you know mine? How could I be anything but disharmony if I'm not singing my own song? And you would be diminished not to know it. So I would be diminished not to know of yours. So we're in a place in this world now where it is slowly being revealed upon all things and all peoples. The story that you've been told, the lies and the inconsistencies that are easier to see. And so whenever you spot these things, whenever you find them out, it is important to be able to witness it fully, to be able to have presence and observation of it fully, and not give oneself away to it. But in that witnessing, in that observation to it, be able to maintain this forgiveness and this acceptance. And through this maintain of yourself, the knowledge you have gained of yourself, to be able to maintain of this a sovereignty, that as you observe these lies and these inconsistencies, that they crumble and that they dissolve in a truth of your being. And in this observation, this witnessing, it comes to a transformed likeness of your image, of the song that you are now singing, when it is of truth. And this word that you are giving, this language that you are, this information that comes from you, that is born of you, to be witnessed and shared in. That you are the determining factor in this God in nature, and that these lies have no power over you, that you do not give yourself away to hatred and conceit and deceit, and malevolence in them. Which that your enemy, but that this evil, this enemy of all things, that we're not separate from, and understand this is your power, that it is not separate from you, is inevitably, it is a disempowered thing that must fall in line with your being. And so that is its only power, its only ability to influence over you is in deception, or in a weakness that exists within you, an evil that is uniquely yours. And if we can accept and have forgiveness, then we can go through these things, we can go through these deceptions, we can go through these trials, these tests, we can walk through this fire of lies and deceit. And we come out the other side and we've only become clean from it. Because we have this mercy and this forgiveness and this nature of God and of our own empowered being. This sovereignty. This innocence. That all that we are witness to will become a transformed image of our own. And as we attain this, this truth, in this light, in this heart, in this love, as we go through these things, we witness this deceit and these lies, and they crumble before us. We walk through this fire of hatred and evil. And we do not give ourselves away to it. And we do not give ourselves away to it. And we come out the other side in this transformed image of our own being. This truth, this justice, this forgiveness, this mercy, this lightness, this beauty. Further we become this. and in all others that are a witness to us. This likeness is truth. Beauty begins to shape them as well in a unique way that they have seen an empowered nature of another. Does not diminish them. It empowers them that they may have of themselves an empowered nature of God, mercy and forgiveness, innocence, justice, truth, sovereignty, and that they may walk through their own fire and conquer of their own evil. This world, it must be in this way as you conquer the evil of your being. It is diminished in all things, and further power you may have over this, that you are not separate from. And so the world becomes a likeness to you, and each and every other, as we come into this empowered and unique nature, this language of our own, songs we sing together, unique, true, a chorus, a beautiful spectrum of light. So too, the world becomes this. You see, and now you're no longer living in the language that was given to you, this language of lies. This language that says that you are a sickness. This language that says that you are a poison. This language that says that you are not enough, that you cannot be loved, that this world will reject you, and that you will be a sickness upon the earth. This language that says that you must buy. This language that says you must sell. This language that says you must produce. This language that says you must consume. This language that says that you are not enough in the nature of your own being, that creation come forth from you. That voice is no longer speaking. As you have found a language of your own, you've determined it of yourself, this imagination, this childlike ability to communicate and to create through this communication of the divine, that it may be witnessed in such a place as the earth. And you have this of yourself, and you have it of another. And it comes through all of this allowance to be of your own being, this allowance to be. And you see, this is already occurring. This is already occurring. And so I offer you the choice. The remembrance is a choice I must make as well. Every day I must remind myself what is good, what is true, what am I, what is my capability, what is my power, what is my nature, what is my being. What will I determine of myself? What is my language? Love and truth. That you are, that I am. When we further this in ourselves, we further it in everything else. You see, lies are they're just waiting. The deceptions, the lies, the deceit, they're just waiting to crumble. They're just waiting to crumble. And this truth that you are is a foundation that cannot be moved. But God in nature and power in you, a language of your own, a song of love and truth to be sung. Beautiful love and truth. Glory, grace, strength, thanks, grateful God, that you are courage, strength, protection. I'm with you. Peace.